Wow, my heart feels so full. One of my absolute favorite songs.
Same here.
And the reading was absolutely spectacular. Wonderful. Set the stage, baby. We're here. Anyway, I started out this month with one of the Aramaic interpretations of the Lord's Prayer, and it's a version of many. There's many different interpretations of that beautiful prayer. And so this morning, this almost Christmas morning, because that's what it is, in my mind, it's almost Christmas morning. I'm going to read 2 lines of 2 versions, and then we're going to go into something special today. So one of the versions was this: O thou, from whom the breath of life comes, who fills all realm of sound, light, and vibration, may your light be experienced in my utmost holiness. And another interpretation is, O Bertha, B-I-R-T-H-E-R, Mother dash, this is holy, stop it. Mother dash, Father of the cosmos, focus your light within us, make it useful. So what is contained in both of those passages is the idea of the divine light that radiates through each and every one of us. And that's what we're celebrating on Christmas. We're celebrating the Christ light, the divine light that is the truth of our being. We are light. We truly are light. And we need to really deepen into that concept. We have a divine light. We're all part of this infinite unity of life itself. And what better way to have the light of the divine shine through us than to share our beautiful gifts that we might not even know that we have. But we have, each and every one of us. No matter what is going on in our lives, there is still an inherent gift that we came into this life to express. And so we're going to deepen into that today. And I want to share a story with you today. So this is a little different. This is an almost Christmas morning story, or an almost Christmas Eve story. And we could even have milk and cookies if we were living in that world of milk and cookies and bedtime stories, which some children are lucky enough to experience. Not everyone, but I want us to consider this, the little story for Christmas, and then we'll move into how we share our gifts, okay? So settle in and listen to our story. Centuries ago, in a land far from here, a baby boy was born. From the time he was in the womb, he could feel his heartbeat. And he loved how it would be in sync and in rhythm with his mother's. When he was born, he came out banging his hands in the air. He kept his hands banging throughout his infancy and into his toddler years. And one day his uncle said, "Why, give that boy a hammer. He wants to be a carpenter." So they gave him a hammer. But it was too heavy and too hard. So the little boy didn't like it, and he put it down. But he kept banging his fists in the air. And he heard these beats in his mind and in his heart. And one day, off in the distance, he heard something he had never heard before. But it immediately called to him. He had to know what it was. So he ran and he ran in the direction of the sound to find out where it was coming from. As he got closer to the sound, he came upon a man beating a drum with sticks, and his heart exploded with joy. He knew that was what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to beat a drum with sticks. So as children can do, he begged and begged and begged his mother and his father to buy him sticks and a drum. And they, like parents, eventually do succumb to this beseeching child and brought him what he desired. He played morning, noon, and night. And he learned so many intricate rhythms. And the more he played, the more his heart sang. And the more his heart sang, the better and better he got. Then one day, word came to the village that a very, very special baby was being born. The little boy's heart immediately said to him, "You must go play your drum for this baby. That will be amazing." So late one night, he left a note for his parents, wrapped his drum around his neck, and followed the North Star to where the baby was. And I'm sure that most of us know that when we get that calling, that divine urging, because it feels like it's coming from somewhere else, that it's something we really need to follow. And when we don't follow it, we just kind of live our lives and regret afterwards. But we get these callings throughout life, all of us. And it's that inner guidance that is pulling us to do things that we never even knew that we could do. Sharing, maybe, learning that we have a gift of some sort along the way. He arrived early in the morning to see people, animals, and king and holy men gathered around a baby in a manger, and one by one, they were coming forward with gifts. He watched 3 kings come up and lay down really beautiful gifts, one at a time. The first was myrrh. Well, what the heck is that, he thought. Everyone oohed and ahed. And the little boy felt something in his stomach that he had never felt before. He felt nervous and afraid. His gift, that which he was to share, suddenly seemed small and inadequate. So, how many times do we really get in touch with something that really makes our hearts sing? And we want to share it, but we're afraid to, because we think we're not as good enough. We think we're not as good as this big person over here, and look at all their gifts. And we just have these little inconsequential, that is really a nothing thing. And so we hide our gifts under that bushel, under the stone. We just withdraw and we turn away. And sometimes we run and leave. Then, as if it couldn't get any worse, the next king sat down frankincense. Now, what is that? The little boy thought. And the crowd more than oohed and ahed over this one, even louder. And the feelings in the little boy's stomach grew even more intense. Now he was sweating and thinking about how he could leave and run away. And how many times have we really run away instead of standing up and sharing what is in our heart, truly sharing what is in our heart? So many times we have thought that we just are not good enough. It's one of the biggest beliefs for humans to really, more than overcome, just really push it aside and do it anyway. Because by doing it anyway, we prove how really good and great we truly are. And I really believe that. I really believe that. I believe that for those that don't believe that, because I used to be there. I used to think I didn't really have anything to share. And people would say, but you would do all of this, and you do this, and you do this. Oh, that's nothing. So how many times do we do that in our lives? Until we finally come to a place of peace and saying, you know what, I can do that, and I will do that. The third king laid down what? Gold, that's right. Even the little boy knew what gold was. And his stomach turned into a storm. He was now very, very clear that he was not going to play his drum. He had foolishly traveled so far. He should have known better. Who does he think he is? His gift paled in comparison to all of these. Then the newborn baby's mother looked at the little boy. She looked deeply at him, and slowly, with such love in her eyes and in her heart. And she nodded, and the nod was almost imperceptible. But the little boy saw it and got the message. Without a word, she said, "Go ahead, offer your gift. It will be fine." So the little boy stepped forward. And as he did, the manger started with whispering. Who's that little boy? Who does he think he is anyway? What's he going to do? Play foolish little drums? What an insult. Some sneered. But the little boy kept looking at the baby, and he began to play. He was hesitant at first, but then the music started to take over him, and suddenly he was lost in the gift he was meant to share. And do you know what happened? Why, even the ox and lamb kept time. All of nature felt the beauty of his gift. And then the magic happened. The baby smiled. And it wasn't just a smile with his face or a smile with his eyes, but his whole entire being lit up the room. And the little body of the baby glowed with joy. And at that moment, the little drummer boy knew that his gift was enough. It was way, way more than enough.